And joining us now from Florida is NCBA President Marty Smith. Marty, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Kevin.
Tell us a little bit about the conversation you had with President Trump and the support that he's offered U.S. cattle producers during this time of crisis.
Last week, I was able to participate on a direct telephone conference, not only with President Trump, but also Vice President Pence, Secretary Sonny Perdue, and talk specifically about the issues facing cattle producers, facing farmers and ranchers around the United States. We were one of the few ag groups on that call, and actually had a second call that same day that was led by Vice President Pence, and he asked very specifically of me and of NCBA what's going on with cattle producers and what the administration can do to help.
Very good. And can you tell us just a little bit about what President Trump and his administration have done for cattle producers during this crisis?
First, and this was what led to this call last week, was the president's executive order to get our packing plants back up and going and keep them operating during some very challenging and tough times for us. Certainly, we've gotten the president's support with the CARES package, and we're waiting to hear some more details out of that. Back in toward the end of March, I'd actually sent a letter to President Trump with a copy to Secretary Perdue. Great thing about that, 6 hours after the letter was delivered to the White House, NCBA was getting calls from both the White House and from USDA, following up on the points that we were raising. We were asking them to look at the disparity in prices between our fed cattle prices and box beef prices, which they are doing, and pledging to us the support of the White House, of the administration, to help farmers and ranchers through this current crisis.
It is a crisis, and it seems to be a very strange situation we find ourselves in right now, where we have more than adequate supplies of cattle, and yet meat is becoming harder and harder to come by in grocery stores. Why is it so important to keep the supply chain moving during this time?
Well, first and foremost, Kevin, we're talking about feeding the United States of America. And we're talking about getting our product, getting beef into their hands. Now, you look for a bright side in this, and it's very hard to find one, but the best thing about that we've seen here is the fact that beef is in such high demand. Go into a grocery store, look, see the empty shelves there where the beef has been taken off the shelf, see what's going on with the takeout food. Beef is in high demand. A lot of the work that we've done through the years with our checkoff program, work that NCBA and others have done to build that beef demand, is really in a position to pay off for us. So we want to keep that supply chain going. Number one, we got to feed the United States. To a large degree, we feed the world. And so we've got to keep that going. In addition to that, really a bigger, more direct problem for all of us in production cattle is the fact that our packing plants are backing up, feed yards are getting overcrowded, and we need an outlet for them. Just before this call today, I've been on the phone trying to move some cattle that are in the feed yard and ready to go, and it's not the easiest thing to do right now. In fact, it's pretty dadgum tough. And of course, the prices that we're talking about are even tougher. So keeping that supply chain going is really, really critical to our entire industry.
It's certainly encouraging to have producers like yourself and the rest of the executive team who really understand what all of us are going through. And so I'd ask one last question. What message do you have to all of us in the cattle industry who are experiencing a high degree of stress and uncertainty right now?
We have been through a lot of tough times before as an industry and as a group of producers. And before this all came to pass, we were talking about, and I was talking about, let's work on our teamwork. Let's work together. There's a lot of problems out there that we face as an industry. There's a lot of problems that we face on our individual ranches and feed yards, and let's focus on those, but let's focus on working together towards solutions. We're tough people. We face crises regularly. We face challenges. This one's a huge one for us. We know that. but we will work together. We're starting to see maybe a little bit of relief. We're hoping to see restaurants open back up. That's a big factor. We got to get people back working again. That was part of what the president was talking about in this executive order. Get the people in the packing plants back working. Let's get America back going again, and let's be a part of that solution. And I think we will be, Kevin.
Thank you so much. I know this is an enormous load on your shoulders and your officer team's shoulders. And let me tell you, from one producer to another, we greatly appreciate all the time you're spending to try to lead the beef industry forward in this challenging circumstance. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And to anybody that's listening to this, understand that the officers, the executive committee of NCBA, it's made up of producers just like me and you, from all parts of the country, all sizes of operation, and that's who we work for. We work for cow-calf producers, the feed yards, the people that are growing the cattle and putting the beef on people's plates. We're not there to try to, we get a lot of criticism about the packer. We're trying to deal with that, but that's not our focus. Our focus is production, and it's on the cow-calf and the feed yard operators from all parts of the country. We're going to keep doing that, Kevin.
We appreciate your service to our industry. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
For a good source of information on the COVID-19 situation, including opportunities to apply for small business assistance and view educational webinars, you can visit the website at ncba.org.